customer service. Some customers are jovial clients, you serve them and they go off and they're happy. Some customers, you deal with them, they stick around, or even before they come to you, they have many complaints. And even after you have helped them to the best of your ability, they will still be complaining and they will go away unhappy. So, but the question is, how do you deal with such people? Because the people who complain quite often are the ones that gives you a lot of stress. They're the ones that don't listen to you and they will never compliment you. Even if what you have helped them might not be your responsibility, you probably would have gone out of your way to try and help those people. You find that even after all that best of yours that you would have done, they will still not be happy. So the question is, how then do you deal with such kind of people? The best thing when you are dealing with a difficult client, especially the person who comes to you already unhappy, they have already complained against someone, the best you can do is listen to the person. And listening itself is a very difficult process. They might call you on the phone, they might want to send an email, which is the most common mode of communication that we prefer. But sometimes they might want to talk to you on Zoom or on Teams, because whatever they want might be very difficult for you to understand. So it helps sometimes to get an email, but also sometimes it does help to get a one-to-one conversation through Zoom so that they're able to clarify their points and what they actually want. Sometimes even what they are actually requesting is just difficult to understand. So in such instances, you might want to ask them to speak in addition to having written an email to explain what they want. Quite often I've seen people requesting things, but what they are actually asking is difficult to understand. So in such cases, if it is possible, it's not a requirement that you ask them to talk to you over the phone or over Skype or over Zoom. But if you decide that you should speak to them, listen to them, what they say, pay attention. It's very painful, especially if someone is not direct and straightforward with what they are asking. I've listened to someone talk and I kept on looking at my time to see whether this person is going to finish talking, because they went on and on and on and on. And I keep wanting to hear, what do you want help with? I've seen that even in emails. So the point is active listening. Listening is very difficult. But if you can, which is obviously part of your job, try and listen as the best as you can. Even try and be as patient as you can without showing that you are frustrated, because I think it's very easy to get frustrated with someone who also is frustrated, especially if they are not clear about what they want. So consider and think through what the person is talking about. They might already have judged you even before you help them. So this is one of the most difficult things, where someone comes to you already angry or unhappy, sarcastic, or the person doesn't believe that you are the right person to solve the problem. Some people come to the team with an opinion, and that opinion is very difficult for us to deal with, because if someone believes they can only be helped by a specific person, it's really a problem. Consider the feedback, whatever they are saying, and whatever reasons they have for wanting to be saved by someone, and see and decide whether you should respond or not. So as you hear people talk or complain about things, consider whether you should respond to them or not. If you feel that it's not going to help because the person has already made an opinion about you or about the team or about some members of the team, you might just want to help them and keep quiet and see them off so that they can go away and not mess up your day. Because that's one other thing that is very easy to happen. They can involve you in a conversation that will mess up your day. It's very important to maintain your morale throughout the day, because we serve different people. And if you are upset by just one person, what they say about you or about some members of the team, you just feel down. And this is how we get unhealthy, we get sick. It's because we keep thinking about what some other people say about us. So consider, when someone makes a judgment about you or about something that you are doing, consider whether you should respond to it or not. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are weak. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are not intelligent by not responding to them. It simply means that you have weighed your options and you have found no value in responding to them. Because sometimes the best way of dealing with your own day and keeping a good mood is just by not engaging in a conversation with some people, especially if they're negative. Negative people drain a lot of energy from other people, and they leave the bad mood with other people. So everywhere where they are going, they are passing on a bad mood. Negative people are like garbage trucks. They go all around. Wherever they are dumping a bad smell wherever they go. So don't join people who are negative, because you carry along with the negative smell. So don't be pulled around with that. How do you easily get pulled? It's the temptation for human beings is there to justify and engage in a conversation or to confront a misinformation. They might might entirely be wrong. So in instances where someone writes something negative, consider whether you should respond or not. If you feel that it's not worth the effort, just keep plowing on, do your work, finish the case, close the case. Next time you encounter their case again, you know that this person is the one who has this tendency to do this. Then you treat them appropriately. But if you fight them, they will then find every good reason to weigh you down, but also to paint your reputation, because you are going to probably be angry and say something you don't want them to hear, or to fight them off and just create enemies unnecessarily. We don't want to create enemies. We work with people. We work with everyone. So working with everyone is a very difficult task of working with the public. Your job is to keep a good mood throughout the day. Even after you are done with your day's job, your mood will still be good in your house. Don't pick the unhappiness and carry it along. The other thing is just to assess. So along the way, part of the exercise you go through is to assess whether if you say anything to that person, is it going to make any difference? Quite often, people who are negative, when they come to you, they've already made their opinions, or they are already unhappy being served by you. They've already made an opinion that there's no one who's going to help them better. So if they should contact you and they start spilling out that negativity, take a breath of fresh air and consider whether you should say anything. If you feel that you need to say anything, do you think that they are going to listen? If you really feel they're not going to listen, probably don't say anything, because they might not going to listen anyway. You might want to hold your response until you have finished serving them, until they have made a comment, and go back to them at some point and say, I felt that when I was serving you on that day, you were very unhappy. Was it about me or about you? You can consider whether you should do that or probably not at all. Then if there's anything that you have learned from there, take that to heart and to memory, and learn from the skill that you will have acquired serving an angry person, an unhappy person, or a complaining person. You will meet people in life who are just negative, be at work or be at home. Don't take everything in life very personal. I know that as human beings, we are conditioned to taking things to heart. Every time we are punched, we should punch back. It's the fighting spirit in us, but sometimes some of the battles are not worth it. Some of the people that we want to fight and respond to are not really worth it, to getting our attention and fighting with us. But the reality is that some of the people, if you take them so seriously, your day will just be messed up every time you do it, or you dread dealing with them. If you ever had someone saying, oh, it's so and so again, as soon as someone writes to you, you start feeling weighed down. Learn to manage and control your anger and control what you say. It's the biggest challenge for human beings, controlling ourselves, controlling what we say, and knowing when not to speak and knowing when to speak. In the past, my grandparents used to say, I'll sleep over something. In other words, they are not ready to make a decision. They'll wait until the next day before they make a decision. Nowadays, through cell phone, through emails, through the radio, through the television, there's so much for coming to us. Sometimes we don't have time to pause. But if you feel something is making you unhappy and likely you get angry, try and pause before you respond. If you think that you still are not sure, you might want to talk to another person before you respond. Clients can damage our self-esteem by whatever they say. So we need to look after ourselves just as we look after the clients. So we don't want to forget about the client, but equally we don't want to forget about ourselves.